Ragnar walked through the forest, grateful for finally going back to the village. They had found the witch that escaped with the Lord's bastard, and he and his friends were merry, anticipating the reward they were promised if they brought them both alive. He raised his eyes from the snowy path to look at the back of the young slave being hurried in front of him. He couldn't believe that small girl, almost naked, running through the snow on such a frosty night and carrying a babe on top of that, had had them running through the woods in a merry chase for most of the night. It was amazing a woman was so strong and determined, and well-built, he could see. He smiled lewdly, caressing the young woman's curves with his filthy eyes. She was of age, he thought. Maybe if the Lord was feeling grateful, he could ask for her to be his property instead of killing her. She was just a slave anyway, wouldn't be asking for much. He knew the Lord had threatened to kill her when he saw she took the babe and ran, but maybe he could be convinced. The babe was the important thing anyway, the babe and its mother. Well, its mother not so much now. He recalled it was him who had cut the wench's head off her shoulders. He had been briefly scolded, since the Lord wanted them alive for the funeral ceremony at the time. He spit on the snow, never taking his eyes from the well-built legs of the woman trying to walk in front of him, thinking asking for a boon after that blunder might not be a very good idea after all. Too bad, he thought. It was a waste. He then saw how her dress slipped down her shoulders, exposing the flushed, almost frozen skin on her back. Curses, he thought. It was a great waste. "Stop!" Odin yelled, and everyone obeyed. "What's the matter now?" Ragnar asked, impatient. Odin looked up, seemingly studying the full moon, partially obscured by the frozen branches, and then grunted with disappointment. "Tie her up by a tree and get a fire going. We're not going to make it tonight." "What the hell are you saying? We can make it before morning. We only chased her for, 2-3 hours? It can't be that far." "Shut up, Ragnar," demanded Odin's son, Axel. "Try 5 hours. Father is right. If we keep going, the freeze will land on us while walking, and that might kill the babe. Remember, the Lord wants it alive for the ceremony." He took the rope from the mercenary nobody had bothered to ask the name of, and pulled the young slave towards the tree his father was now sitting below. "Now get that fire going." Ragnar spit and rested his hand over his dagger. "Just who do you think you are, ordering people around, you damn pup?" "Axel," interrupted Odin, his eyes already closed and relaxed, bundled within the layers of his fur coat. "If Ragnar speaks again, kill him." Ragnar looked at Axel, which was now showing him his white teeth in a twisted smile, caressing slowly his own dagger hilt. It was a smile full of promise, of confidence and threat. Ragnar decided to leave his dagger in its scabbard. The boy might have been young, but was bigger than him, than almost all in that posse. Better not steer more trouble his way. With a grunt, took his hatchet from his belt and started cutting the dry branches from the trees around for the fire. But he'd remember this. Ragnar never forgave a slight. "God damn it, where is it?" Everyone's eye landed on Axel, who was roughing Revna out. She was now tied to the tree and was taking the punishment in silence. "Stupid slave, what have you done with it?" "What's wrong?" asked Odin, getting up in one step. "What is the meaning of this?" "It's gone," Axel answered. "She doesn't have the babe." And he jerked away the cloth Revna was carrying all this time, throwing it on the crusty snow in a fit of rage. Then, tied to the tree, almost frozen and exhausted, Revna started laughing. Odin rushed to her and lifted her by the hair, forcing his face in hers. "Where is it? What did you do, you wench?" Revna started coughing, but never stopped smiling. "He's not here," she finally rasped away. "Your lord won't have his ceremony. He's free." "Damn witch," Ragnar complained. "She could have thrown it down anywhere. She had all the time of the world." "Oh, shit," he pulled at his receding hair with the realization. "The Lord will have our heads." Axel started kicking snow, coursing to the sky, while Odin kept scrutinizing Revna's face. Then, after a while, he shook his head and let her go. "No," he said, and everyone shut up and regarded him. She didn't drop it just anywhere. I found her in a ditch, that's where she put it. She wouldn't have run all the time she did if she didn't have the hope of saving the babe. She left it in the snow as a last resort when she saw us gaining on her. For the good that does us, retorted Revna. The piglet must be an icicle by now. We caught it about an hour ago. There may be time, Axel said. The babe was bundled, and we don't lose anything going back. Damn it, said Audun. We all need to go look for it. I think I can find the ditch, but the snow might have concealed it. I need all the eyes we have looking for it. Ragnar had a thought then. A bad thought. A dirty, dishonorable thought. I will stay, he said. Someone has to keep an eye on the slave. You three should go look for the Lord's baby. Audun looked at him with knowing, distrusting eyes. You will look after her, he finally said. She's the Lord's. Don't touch her. Of course not, he lied, just like a snake. You should get going. Father, we must go, insisted Axel. Audun hesitated one more moment, and then joined his son in that mercenary nobody had bothered to ask the name of, in a race against the elements and time. Ragnar saw them run the way they came, rushing like if dogs were on their trail. He then turned and looked at the prone form of Revna, passed out on the snow below the tree, her exhaustion finally prevailing over her stubbornness. He walked slowly towards her, evil in his eyes, white frost crusting the corners of his mouth. They would be gone for at least an hour. He had time, and he knew they'd never find the babe, and even if they did, it would be dead. Their lives were forfeit, and they knew it. They were just too cowardly to admit it. His life was over. He knew it. So why not? He knelt beside her, his foul breath making clouds about his face. Yes, why not? Why? He never saw it. Axel's dagger was in Revna's hand. No, it was in his chest. Ragnar collapsed, his blood spouting from his wound like a red spring. How did it happen? She was out cold. She was a girl. She was only... Revna pulled the dagger from the monster's cold body. Trembling, her teeth chattering, she cut herself free from the tree. She then stripped down Ragnar and donned his clothes as best she could. The beast was too big, but she at least was able to cover her body to escape from the frost and use his boots to give respite to her cut and almost frozen feet. She was too tired, too hurt, but now she was starting to feel better. And she had a plan, and the plan would work. She would hide. Yes, she would hide, and now that she knew they wanted Kerstin's baby alive, she knew they'd come back with him here. She just needed to hide and wait, and when they came back, she would kill them. She would kill them all, and then she would rescue the baby, and she would run back to Kerstin, and she would be waiting for her, and she would welcome them both with a warm and soft embrace. Revna laid face down on the snow, this time out cold for real. Audun kept walking up and down the flat, newly laid snow. It was just her luck the wind had picked up again, dragging the snow and covering everything with a white, undisturbed blanket. His tracks were nowhere to be found, and the ditch the slave girl had fallen into was invisible, covered by the new layer of snow. He had to find that baby. The Lord was emphatic he had to have it. He had already promised his Christian slave woman and her baby to Odin, and he would be damned if he didn't keep that sacred vow, at least with the suckling child. Audun buried his boots deep in the soft snow, kicked it up, stabbed it with the butt of his spear, and nothing. Was he wrong? Was it even around here? Or over there? He doubted himself more as time passed, his resolve melted with the moon's transit on the sky. Was it too late? Would the Lord kill him? Would he kill his son? Father! He barely heard his son's holler over the roaring wind. Father, over there! He followed the direction his son's spear pointed to and saw a depression in the snow about 100 steps to his left. The mercenary nobody had bothered to ask the name of was about the same distance from it, on the opposite side, and he was waving his axe, calling attention to it. There was something weird about that snow pit. Then Odin saw the steam rising from it. The snow had melted there. "Thor, protect us," he said, and clasped the T-shaped iron piece that hung upside down from his thick neck. He knew only Thor's hammer would be able to protect them if his suspicion about that steaming pit was correct. His son reached him, his eyes never leaving that pit, and the mercenary was doing the same, way over the other side of it. "What do you want us to do?" Axel asked his father. Odin's hand was firmly squeezing his iron amulet. "Father, what can we do?" "Dad!" He blinked. "Get ready to fight." Then he flashed a sequence of hand signals to the mercenary, who nodded and started to close his distance. "We'll try to sneak past the beast. There's not much steam, so it must be asleep or it's a cub. There is a chance that the baby's nearby and the monster's heat has kept it alive." "Yes, father." "Keep close to me and don't do anything stupid." "You told me to follow your example. Make up your mind, old man." Odin suppressed a chuckle and started inching towards the steamy dragon's pit, his son at his side. Soon they were close enough to the pit's edge, and the three men were able to lean over and take a peek inside. There was a dirt ditch about half a man's height deep that was filling with the melted snow, creating little pools of dark water. Odin leaned more and saw the small cave on one of its sides. He knew the dragon was sure to be there, sleeping his winter slumber. The cave was very small, so it was probably a baby dragon. He prayed to Thor his mother was not hibernating nearby. "Father, did you see? In the cave's entrance?" Odin squinted his old eyes, and then he saw. The babe was there. "Praise be Odin, it's not dead. How do we keep it like that?" Odin struck his beard thinking. Then he saw the mercenary peeking inside the pit. He waved his gloved hand, getting his attention, and when he got it, he rapidly waved several hand signals in his direction. The mercenary nobody had bothered to ask the name of shook his head emphatically, and Odin repeated the commands, this time ending them with his index finger, making a slicing motion over his throat. The mercenary sighed, and, visibly perturbed, started to climb down the snow pit, little by little, inch by inch, being careful not to produce a slide. When he got to the bottom, he only took 3 steps to get to the cave's entrance. He reached with the hand that was not holding a weapon and grabbed the baby's torn sheets. Odin was grinding his teeth, watching the man lifting the baby ever so slowly, taking it out of the cave. The mercenary then began walking towards Odin. "Yes," Odin thought. "We got him! We succeeded! Odin, my son will live!" The mercenary nobody had bothered to ask the name of threw the baby up, and Axel caught it. "Well," Axel whispered to his father, "that wasn't so hard." Startled, the baby started to cry. That's when the screams of pain, the heat, the steam and the fire all rose up from the pit, and the mercenary was dead. Without a second thought, father and son started sprinting in the direction of the forest. "Cursed beast," Odin thought, running as fast as his old thick legs led him on that fresh deep snow. That was too much fire for just a dragon's cub. He had his eyes set on the tree line, and only chanced to look at his son to see if he was keeping up. That's why he was too late to see the rumbling explosion of snow, rock and dirt in his path until it was too late. He fell on his back and found himself face to face with the largest 3-eyed fire dragon he'd ever seen in his long life. The monster was creeping out the crater it had dug to emerge in front of them and regarded him with his 3 green eyes. They seemed to be questioning him with their gaze. "Where's my baby, human?" those eyes seemed to say. "Where did you hide my little snack?" The eyes blinked when the spear Axel had thrown at it bounced off his thick, scaly hide. Odin saw knowledge in those eyes, realization. The young warrior had the baby. The monster ran in his son's direction. His son. His own son. He grabbed the thick tail and climbed on top of it, pulling out his dagger, stabbing the beast with it and yelling curses all along. The monster bent sideways and clenched his sword-like fangs on his leg. But Odin knew pain, he knew battle, and made sure the loss of that one member was not in vain. He stabbed the dragon's third eye, screaming at it his pain, his fury and hate, and the monster jerked him off, throwing him away in one swift, agony-induced motion. Axel saw his father fly through the air, landing face first on the snow, pieces of his leg following his trajectory. He let the baby drop on the soft snow and reached for his dagger so he could avenge his father, the dagger that Revna had stolen. The dragon turned to him. It was too late. He braced himself to be burned alive. He was too far from his spear now. Surely the monster would just vomit hell at him and be done. But for some reason, once it recovered from the pain, the dragon, taller than a man, longer than a boat, 4 legs covered with claws, head big as an ox, it just stared at him with its remaining 2 emerald eyes. Axel was confused. Why didn't it just spit fire? Why was it closing the distance, creeping slowly as measuring the risk with each step? Then he noticed the baby crying. Could it be? Was the monster keeping the baby safe? With nothing to lose, Axel bent down, his eyes never leaving the dragon's, and took the crying baby by the leg. When he picked him up, he saw those 2 eyes dance between him and the baby, and the monster hissed an obvious warning. "Oh, you don't like that, eh?" taunted Axel, circling around the beast, getting closer to his spear. "Why do you care? It's not your baby. This one is not even worth a snack." He kept walking, idly noticing the baby had a golden amulet hanging from his neck, tangled in his hand. "Ah, it's the shining thing you want," he said, getting closer to the weapon. "You hoard gold, dragon? You big greedy monster." The great beast seemed to understand him because its hide started to turn the red of sunset, and heat waves emerged from its body like if it was a big walking furnace. "Oh, don't get mad, see, I can give you your shiny. That's what you want, the gold?" He jerked it off the baby, hurting him, drawing blood from his chubby arm. Dragon hissed. Here's your shiny, you stupid beast." With that he flung the gold crucifix at the beast, hoping it would follow it, but instead, the beast ran right at him, aiming his enormous jaws at the hand that held the baby. Axel jerked his hand away, just in time to save it from the jaws that now engulfed the baby whole. The last warrior fell on his back, dragged himself away, and felt one of his hands touch the coveted spear. He smiled that twisted smile of his once more, but the sight of the beast getting closer erased it from his face. Dragon was stomping while it ran, trying to trample him with his huge paws. He needed to do something. He needed to kill it, to survive, to kill! With a primal scream, Axel pushed the spear into the soft belly of the beast and rolled away. The steaming blood of the animal spilled from the wound like a fountain, hot, pungent, and thick. After some moments of twisting limbs and deep growls, the fire dragon laid on the melting snow, cooling slowly, his hide turning from red to pink to grey. Only when the beast didn't move anymore, Axel noticed he wasn't breathing and started panting like an old man drowning on dry land. He'd done it. He slayed the dragon. His father. He rose to his feet, legs trembling as they were, and stumbled as fast as he could to where his father lay. "Father, we did it! We killed it!" he said, throwing himself to his side, but saw with no surprise that his father had been dead for a while now. His old eyes were glassy, his wrinkled skin was grey, and blood was spilled, freezing all around him. "Father, we killed it. We are dragon slayers. We are dragon slayers, Dad." He knelt beside his father, his right hand on his head, and, amongst tears and short sobs, he recited the necessary funeral words. Then he noticed a sound, mixed with his sobs and prayers. Another crying, someone else in tears. He got up and started following the wailing. He knew those cries. He knew where they came from. He got close to the dragon's carcass. It was still hot, but not so much as for him to fear for his life. He noticed the amulet he tossed had gone into the wound his father dealt it, and only the chain was partly visible. The cries came from the wound. No, not the wound. Inside the lizard's head. He put one knee on the muddy ground, and with effort, he opened the mouth that was bigger than his whole self. The baby was alive inside. He was covered in the dragon's green and thick saliva. It was all over his little body, inside his eyes, ears, and mouth, and he was crying in pain because he had the crucifix clenched in his hand and the metal was red hot. Axel pulled him out of the beast and opened his little hand, dropping the icon to the ground, where it started sizzling in a puddle of melted snow. He put fresh snow in the burn, not understanding how was any of that possible. Why didn't the beast eat the baby? How was the baby still alive? And why didn't the gold in the amulet melt with that tremendous heat? Odin, is this a sign? Whispered Axel, taking his coat off to cover the infant with it. Odin, what should I do? What should I do? He had to return, that much he knew. He needed to take the baby back. But he was going to be damned if he let anyone put a hand on him now. This baby was favored by the gods. The beast of the wild died to protect him. Nor monsters, nor weather, nor man could hurt him. This small boy was magic, was strength, was power. He took the crucifix and, now cold, put it again around the baby's neck. Then, with his spear, he pulled 3 teeth from the dragon's mouth, 3 trophies owed to the dragon slayers. 1 for him, 1 for his father, and 1 for baby Thor.